Welcome back, dear 6th class students. I hope you all are well by the grace of God. Now, in this video, I am going to talk about chapter number 8, and the name of the chapter is Foreign Land. So, the name of the lesson is Foreign Lands, and it is a small poetry. And in this poetry, the poet is talking about all the imaginary things what he has imagined. Okay, the poet wants to climb the higher tree, and he is describing his views on them, that what he is seeing after climbing the trees. Like, you also climb on the higher things, like suppose you might have climbed on the trees, or when we go on the higher places. Okay, so from there the view is different, completely different. So the poet is also talking about that view, that what he has seen, what he has observed about the things. And he has seen the river which is entering into the seas. Then he is talking about the roads that lead him to the fairyland, which is his imaginary land. And he is also imagining that there is a fairyland where all the children have their dinner at 5 and all the toys come alive. Okay, alive means there is life in the toys. Suppose you imagine that you are having toys and they are talking to you, so how do you feel that? So he is just talking about, and he is just imagining about the things. So we will read about his imaginations, that what he has imagined, what he has seen. Okay, in this poetry. So this poetry is very short and very simple poetry. You are going to have, when you are going to read, you are going to like it. Okay, now before talking about or reading the poetry, we are going to talk about the poet of the poetry. So the poet name is Robert Louis Stevenson, from 1850 till 1894. He was an Scottish novelist, poet, and travel writer. His most famous works are Treasure Island, Kidnap, Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll, and so on. He was a literally celebrity during his lifetime. Today, he is one of the most translated authors in the world. Now, before starting the explanation, we are going to read the poetry. Okay, so let's start. Lesson 8, Foreign Lands. Up into the cherry tree, who should climb but little me? I held the trunk with both my hands and looked abroad in foreign lands. I saw the next door garden lie, adorned with flowers before my eyes, and many pleasant places more that I had never seen before. I saw the dumpling river pass be the sky's blue looking glass. The dusty roads come up and down, but with people tamping into town. If I could find a higher tree, farther and farther I should see, to where the growing up river spills into the sea among ships, to where the roads on either hand lead onward into fairy land, where all the children dine at 5 and all the playing things come alive. Robert Louis Stevenson. Now, I'm going to explain the poetry stanza wise. So let's read the first stanza again. Up into the cherry tree, who should climb but little me? So, in the first two lines, the poet is asking, he's saying that there is a cherry tree. He saw one cherry tree and he is asking who's going to climb the cherry tree, but the little me, that I am only going to climb that cherry tree. I held the trunk with both my hands and looked abroad in foreign lands. Now, he is talking about how he had climbed the tree. So he is saying that with both his hand he has just hold the trunk of the tree and he is trying to climb on the tree. And after climbing on the tree, he is looking or he has seen the foreign lands, the lands of his imagination. Okay. And suppose you also, so if when you are there, when you climb on a tree or you just go on the terrace things, okay, so you see the things which is very far from you. Okay, everything seems to be very short, very small, very tiny. The view is not clear, but you find yourself closer to sky. You are feeling very nice. So he is just talking about that feeling only. And let's see what he talks about his observation in the next stanzas. Now, next, we are going to read the second stanza. I saw the next door garden lie adorned with flowers before my eyes. Now, dear children, the poet is explaining his view, what he has seen from the cherry tree. So, he is saying that there is one garden, okay, and the garden was decorated, adorned means to be decorated. Okay, the garden is decorated from flowers and he was very happy to see that garden. Now let's read the next line. And many pleasant places more that I had never seen before. So it was the first time he was climbing up on the tree and he saw many other things which he has not seen before. So it was all over a new experience for the poet. Like you also goes on the terrace, or you if you climb the mountain or if you climb the tree, new things you see. Okay, you see new things, you observe new things. So like you only, the poet was also observing new things and he was very happy to see them. Now we are reading the third stanza. I saw the dimpling river pass and be the sky's blue looking glass. So over here, the in the poet is discussing about his observation only. In the second stanza also he has talked about that what he has seen. Okay, now in the third stanza also he is talking about his observation. So in the third stanza he is talking about the rivers, he is describing the sky, he is describing the roads, he is describing about the people who are there. Okay, so in the first two lines of the third stanza, the poet is saying that he saw one river which was passing from there, and he is describing about the sky. The sky was looking like a glass. The sky was crystal clear. Okay, it was just looking like a glass. So he is comparing the beauty of the sky with a glass. Okay. Now let's read the next lines. The dusty roads go up and down with people tramping into town. That means he's talking about the roads which he has observed when he has climbed on the tree, and he's saying that the roads are not so clear. The reason behind that the people on which they are walking, the people who are walking on that, they are just walking with the heavy feet, okay, and all the dust is coming. So there is a long road on which is going up and down, and people are walking on it, and they are moving in the town, okay. Now we are going to read the fourth stanza. If I could find a higher tree, farther and farther I should see, to where the grown-up rivers spills into the sea among the ships. So, in this stanza, the poet is just telling about his wish, that what he wish. So he says that if he could find a higher tree, right now he is on the cherry tree, but he wishes to have to climb on a higher tree so that he can see more things, he can visualize more things, he can observe more things. And he is saying that he wants to see the mature river. Okay, first he has seen the river, now he want to see the river, that where they are going. He wants to see that rivers, he want to see that rivers are there and they are joining the oceans, and how they are joining the oceans, and in the seas how they are how the ships are moving. So he wants to see everything, every activity of oceans. So he is saying that if he could find a higher tree, he will see where the big rivers are merging means mixing, okay, mixing with each other, and he wants to see the big ships which are moving in the ocean, and he wants to observe them, okay. I hope I'm clear. Now let's read the last stanza of the poetry. To where the roads on either hands lead onward into fairyland. Now, in the previous stanza which we have read, in that the poet was talking about the river. He explained his wish. He stated, means he told about his wish, that he wants to climb a higher tree, and he want to see the rivers, and he want to see them, that where the rivers are going and merging with each other, or mixing with each other, and mixing with the ocean. And he wants to see the ship which is floating in the ocean. He can see that how the ship is dividing the ocean, how the ship is being driven in the ocean. He wants to see everything. Now, in the last stanza, he is saying that he wants to see the road, okay, the road which will take him to the fairyland. Yes, and he's talking about now he's talking about the fairyland. And let's see what he wants to see in the fairyland. Okay, now let's read the last two lines. Where all the children dine at 5 and all the playful things come alive. So here he states one more wish, that in that fairyland, in that imaginary land of his, he's saying that all the children should have dinner at 5, and all the playing things come alive, means that all the toys or all the things from which they can play should have a life, or they can speak, they can walk. So this was the whole imagination of the poet. So here comes the homework for you. Learn and write word meanings, question and answers of lesson number 4 and 5, and complete your copy. Thank you.